why most remakes and remasters feel childish. Now, with remakes and remasters, right, it can go one way or another way. The one way is doing it right, and the other way is just doing a remake where it feels childish. Where, for example, Lollipop Chainsaw remake. So like the game is 18, right? Plus that's Peggy 18, right? There's Peggy 7, Peggy 12, Peggy 16, Peggy 18, right? And I'm saying that, like not a lot of people, not a lot of adults is going to like get into that because like with this game, zombie game, you use a chainsaw and straight up slay zombies right now. Don't get me wrong, I like zombies as well, right? Like the Walking Dead game, uh, from Telltale Games was a really really good game. It's like my top favorite games of all time, right? And with Lollipop Chainsaw, right, it looks kiddish. I don't know if it's just me, but that that exaggeration, the flashing images, the straight up like it just looks like a straight up kids game where like you are remaking it, and like the original audience of that original game has grown up, and they're not gonna really be into stuff like Lollipop Chainsaw really anymore, because like some games, right, like is like very good to play, and the amount of time spent would be good for kids, right? Like Red Dead Redemption 2, right? This game is so long, right? It's a super long game. And like but the thing is that game also did it right because it was more like adult oriented. It was more like GTA but cowboys with guns, right? Revolvers. And that game did a really good job with the story. I do appreciate on how it shows like the graphics becoming more enhanced and more advanced over and over throughout the years, right? Like I played Marvel Spider-Man 1 in 2018, right? And when I saw that, I was like, wow, those graphics look amazing. And like God of War as well, I think came out then as well, by Sony, both of them by Sony. Really good games, right? And they felt mature, right? I just didn't seem like I kind of wanted to get into Lollipop Chainsaw, but when I saw the trailers, it was like something entirely different, and it's like, and you don't even know if this is for original audience or for the modern audience. Maybe it's kind of for both, but still though, like when they remake something that people knew before, right? And it comes in, right, again. And it's like of course the original audience is gonna see that, oh, one of my favorite games that I used to play as a kid got remade, and you play it and you just feel different. It doesn't feel like you have that exciting nature for it anymore. In other words, it might, for most people, it just comes across as straight up cringe. And that's why I kind of understand now with these type of games. Dead Space, I am just recently playing Dead Space, the recent one. Now the original one came out 2008, and that one was also good as well. You look back to it, but of course, like I'm gonna say that like the game looked bright. When you're going into like areas around the game, but it still hold up for its time. But with this remake now, straightforward horror, cool horror game. And in Dead Space, you're playing as third person astronaut, right? With a nice armor and looks unique, right? With guns, and you just blaze through zombie like enemies with like blades and I never seen those type of enemies before. Of course, it's a unique game, and the game is very very like horror and not like kid orientated. Even the trailers, right? When they were promoting the new Dead Space remake, it didn't get a lot of copies, but when they were promoting it, it was really really good. Like how they were promoting the trailers, it was more mature and seemed like it was a game that was always gonna be for everybody. And what separates that now with Lollipop Chainsaw is that it it was also toned down or just marketed differently now with than its original predecessor. I look at a game like Dead Space, I was thinking about playing it, and then I'm like, then when I play it, it's like it's really really good. And I never played the original Dead Space game. And same thing with Lollipop Chainsaw. I never played the original of Lollipop Chainsaw, and it's like you could see, the how I see each one, the differences, and this goes for every other game. Is that be careful when like straight up remaking a straight up like kids game, right? Like for example, like if I were to remake Spyro again, right? And you like you're remaking that same original Spyro game, right? And you're expecting, oh, the original audience is gonna come back and bring up the game. Well, only a small proportion, but I don't think it's really gonna work. And actually, I think most people are also going to like hate it as well when they realize that it feels different. It doesn't vibe with them that much anymore. And that's all I have to put out there because not much people are really saying this. Like, there's a, with some, most remakes, there's like no innovation as well. Like, it's just cash grabs as well, just using nostalgia, basically, like what I'm saying right now. They're just kind of like using people's nostalgia, like remakes most times, and just bringing back the original audience when they don't feel for it now. And I kind of am siding with them because we can't keep on like hating all the time, and it's kind of sad that like the things that most of the time just gets remade. And what's scary is that you don't know what that remake is. Is it really going to like be for the original like people? I'm not saying that it shouldn't be for the modern audience as well. It could be like that for a little bit, but I'm just saying that you should really see the the player base of the original games and see if you are ready to release this remake, right? This is what developers should really listen into, right? And I get as a upcoming game developer that this is what you need to do, this and that, yeah, 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 yeah. And check this out, right? They also, the target audience shift is, it's the audience is shifting with these remake games as they get older and older, and they do like, and now what I'm seeing is that they're doing these remakes after the original came out like 10 to 20 years ago. That's pretty insane. Like, that's honestly crazy. Like with Dead Space, right? A game came out 2008, and now it's getting a remake like basically almost 20 years later. That's honestly insane. Like, and there's other game examples you could put here as well. You could insert some what you're thinking about. And yeah, like, and sometimes the jokes, like there could be jokes in a game that came out like 20, 30 years ago. The jokes is so outdated, but it's still, a little bit funny, but man, it's outdated. Right? Same thing with movies, right? And my friend told me that with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, is yeah. I'm actually a big fan of Amazing Spider-Man 1, but Sam Raimi still good. Sam Raimi is still good. I'm just saying that, Amazing Spider-Man 1 is my favorite. And just want to put that in, even though it's nothing to do with the video, but I'm just saying that, like, imagine bringing back a game that came out in, say, 1991 to now, right? Just hopefully that you could, I mean, if that's the case, then you have to do a little bit of changes to really also appeal to the modern audience, but you also want to mostly appeal to the original audience. Otherwise, you're not gonna get enough like old fans. The desires of that original game is not gonna be in the remake one. So you get what I'm saying, right? And I just want you all to understand. But yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Give a like, subscribe for more. See you guys there.